All right, chaps. Good morning from California on this Monday morning, Monday lunchtime, East Coast, Monday evening in the United Kingdom. We have got a lot to get through because things are getting spicier in Major League Soccer.
Wait, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Theo, this is being released on Tuesday, correct?
That's correct, Taylor. Go on. There's something happening on Tuesday, isn't there?
It is, yeah. I think it's someone's 34th birthday, isn't it, Rebecca?
Yes, 34th. And the sad thing is, even if you turn that around, it's still not right. But it's okay. I will take it. Thanks,
We've got a gift for you. We've got a gift for you. And our
have?
lovely producer, Tom, on the day. Patrick, our thoughts are with you, obviously, as you're dealing with a family grievance. But we've got a little bit of a gift for you. So we're going to run this video to wish you a happy birthday.
Happy birthday. I think it's 45, which is astonishing, given the length of time that we've known each other. But have a great day. And there you go. Happy birthday.
To the First Lady of Football. I couldn't wish you a better day. And I was just kind of thinking, Musty, we know how Bex loves the Crystal Palace. On average, how many points a season do you think Crystal Palace get?
Well, normally low 40s.
No, I'd say more mid-40s. 45. 45 is a good number. Happy birthday, Bex. Happy 45th.
Happy birthday. Apologies that we're not still together on the podcast. All great things have to come to an end, but make sure you have a great birthday.
Hello, Rebecca. Happy birthday. All the best for a qualifying game on the weekend against Albania. And I see you at the World Cup. Go Germany.
All my best wishes and love for your birthday. Hope you have the most amazing time. And hopefully I'll see you again soon when we co-host the NBC Premier League weekend.
Rebecca, I'm grumpy today. I'm grumpy that Crystal Palace is playing so well. I'm grumpy that Liverpool is not playing well. I'm grumpy that you seem to be taking great pleasure in that. And I'm grumpy that even though it's your birthday, you look like you're 30 years old. You are the best commentator in America. Happy birthday from Mr. Grumpy.
Oh my goodness, that is what a lovely set of messages. Thank you to Tom Werner. If anyone's listening to this, that was Tom Werner, Liverpool chairman.
I was always told you never reveal a woman's birthday, Theo.
I know.
No,
I know.
It's just not okay, is it?
But as Tom said, to turn 30, is just such a great day for me. So that's so lovely. Thanks, guys. Well, even though we're recording this Monday, my birthday's tomorrow. Do you know what? I went through a stage. I mean, who really cares about this? But I'm going to say anyway. I went through a stage in my late 30s when you sort of realise that you are now fully grown. Like you are now a fully grown adult in your late 30s, right? And it started to get birthday after birthday started to get depressing. But then when I hit 40, I was like, actually, now I'm just glad to be alive. Let's be honest.
Absolutely.
So now it's like every birthday is a blessing, right? And every birthday is I did another year. Let's go. What can I do this year? And now I'm just I love birthdays now. So
as you should celebrate it.
Yes,
our world's better with Rebecca Lowe in it. Celebrate the birthday.
Exactly.
Thanks, guys. Well, thank you. Okay, enough of all that.
Tom
rubbish.
was grumpy though, huh?
Mr. Grumpy. I mean, bless his heart. I know.
It's a great segue to kick off the show.
It's well done, Taylor. Great segue. Because also, when did he record that? Did he record that after the game? I feel like, or did he even record it last week? He could have recorded it. He could have been grumpy. He's only had a tiny little time where he hasn't been Mr. Grumpy, poor Tom, this season because Manchester City, Liverpool yesterday.
I think Pep's going to release the hounds, for lack of a better way to put it. He's going to let him go.
We actually wanted Conor Bradley. Conor Bradley was going to come on. Virgil van Dijk said, no, I want to go out and see Wayne.
He's out of the U.S. men's national team 2 friendlies because of the head injury. That's all I can go by. But anyone that knows how to read between the lines,
He has nearly as many assists as you, as an incredible player for England, Arsenal, Southampton, Everton, the list goes on, has as games. Did any of you see the Cristiano Ronaldo interview with Piers Morgan?
That fraud!
City, wow. 3-0 winners against Liverpool. Here I was last week, Theo, I'll start with you, saying, these games are often tight, they're often draws, they often let you down. This one didn't let us down in that it gave us so much to talk about. Liverpool looking tired, Manchester City looking ominous, Jeremy Doku now showing us why Pep bought him. Let's start with City, shall we? Because they're the ones that did win the game, have closed the gap on Arsenal to 4 points. They do look ominous, don't they, Theo?
Do you know what? Let's not forget, we're we're not very good at predicting the scoreline, are we? Because we're going into this game. Me anyway. Should we just say?
No, you're talking the league.
You think about it.
We're
going into this game. They've got probably the best striker in world football at this moment in time. They're looking at a Liverpool defence and midfield who are just being exposed constantly, week in, week out, conceding too many goals. And then we're saying it's going to be kind of a bit of a draw, maybe 2-1 close game. Got it wrong completely. I mean, Man City right now are scary, dangerous, and I think it's great. And I've always enjoyed Doku, and I couldn't care less with the final end product and all this kind of feel, because I always feel like he always tries something, and I like players that we've spoken about, players being able to take risks. I think now City have players that have been allowed to be let off the leash a little bit, and in regards to Pep's just felt, if we're going to catch Arsenal, I need my players to be able to perform with their gifts.
Yes.
And Doku, for me, and my son said, "Who's that player? I love him." And I'm like, they're the players that have not been around for so long, and they're the players that get everyone excited, get me excited. And do you know, it reminds me of, I'm not just saying he is this player, however, he reminded me of Ronaldinho, just because I just loved watching him. Every time he had the ball, I just thought, okay, I'm going to watch the TV for a second here. Yeah. I thought it was an incredible performance. Yeah, Man City, dominant. The reign, the 1,000 game for Pep Guardiola, I think it was just fitting for him, to be honest. And it was men versus boys. Taylor, did you feel like when you watched it, it just felt Liverpool couldn't get control at all? They didn't have a clue what they were doing.
Yeah, I got caught up in the moment last week. Remember when we were doing our predictions, and Rebecca, I said I felt like this was going to be the coming back, for lack of a better way of putting it, of Liverpool. And then I said, but hang on a minute, they've got Real Madrid midweek. Yeah. And it's going to be a little bit of a lull. So then I kind of convinced myself that it was going to be a draw. Man City completely outplayed. Now, Virgil van Dijk's goal, if it's allowed to stand, it's 1-1. Then who knows if the game changes. But I want to go to Doku because, Theo, it's personality. We've had this conversation. He's got personality. You can't really teach what he's done. He looked very, very, very relaxed and not scared to screw up, which almost released him to be better. And if I think you're 100% correct on this. I think everyone's talking so much about Erling Haaland and Arsenal being so far ahead. I think Pep's going to release the hounds, for lack of a better way to put it. He's going to let them go. However, if you get the end product from Doku in this way, Rebecca, now that makes Erling Haaland even more dangerous, because now it's not just defending one guy, because you've got to worry about Doku cutting to his right and banging it back post, and you're picking it out of the back of the net. It was his best game in a City shirt, and it feels like Man City were motivated by seeing Arsenal drop points at Sunderland.
I think Jeremy Doku's really interesting. Gary Neville said yesterday after the game, he said he's one of those players that's frustrating to play against, but also can be frustrating to play with. And Theo, you would know this more than anyone.
It's kind of like me. Is that,
No, I don't mean that. That was a bad transition. I didn't mean that. I meant what I was about to say. You know more than anyone that when you do such great work down the wing and let's say it doesn't come to anything, that isn't always a negative. Yes, it's frustrated to watch it sometimes because you've just done such great work and you want it to come to something. But actually, he's taking the ball up the field. He's also winning corners. He's winning throw-in. He's attacking. And I think, as we have to always remember, why do we love football? Players that get our bums off seats. And I'll never forget, I used to watch Gareth Bale at Tottenham, and he was similar. Like, you get your bum off your seat and you sit up and you're like, who the hell is this?
Yes, you immediately go like this.
Yeah, and it's great.
And as well, the fullbacks, Rebecca, you don't give them a rest. Like, the one time when wingers get the ball and pass the ball back, the fullback's like, oh, thank God for that, I've done my job. But Doku doesn't give you that opportunity. He doesn't give you that chance. Because he's always teasing you, and then he might want to go past you and then maybe come back, but then he's so quick and sharp. I think he's just he's outstanding.
But now you see the goals in the end product, it makes it even more impactful, because now you're not, even if he wasted the chance, is it effective? Sure, but it's not that final nail in the coffin of going, oh shit, I got to defend him now. I've got to really defend, and then you retreat. It's only going to help Erling Haaland. I'm telling you, Erling Haaland right now is going, thank you. Now we've got Conor
Bradley.
Exactly.
Who did really well against Vinicius, right? Who you kind of feel maybe they're similar players, but he made Vinicius very, very average.
Yes.
Within 3 days. Within 3 days, he went from sort of one end of the spectrum to the other. Okay, so Manchester City, as we've said, look, and it's a great phrase that you use, Theo, scary, dangerous. So Liverpool have gone back in some ways to using the Robertsons and to using Bradley over Frimpong and no Kirkes, and even though he's playing Wirtz, like we thought he was sort of going back slightly to basics to try and solidify everything. But as you just said, Theo, Liverpool, to quote you, didn't look like they knew what they were doing. Plus, they looked exhausted. What is happening?
It's surprising. Taylor, I don't know if you had this in your playing career. However, I remember Mesut Özil at Arsenal. So he would always get picked, regardless of performances. And you would just think, maybe you just sometimes need to just not play him or take him out of the fire line for a period of time because there's quality there. I'm not saying there wasn't because he showed it on a consistent basis over time. Very similar to Wirtz, to be fair. I don't think that... In time, I saw Mesut was going to the gym, he was working out, he was trying to get his physical elements up to scratch because it was all essentially that. And then he started to grow into the Premier League and become, an incredible player. Wirtz is kind of similar in that way, but I am worried about him. I really am. Looking at I do feel like he's fearful of just making the mistake. He's
fearful of giving the ball away. He doesn't take any risk.
And Liverpool, when you're playing a team who's not performing, let's not lie. They've got a couple of results recently, but they've just scraped through a lot of results, haven't they, recently? But when you're playing in a team that's not confident, it's hard to get that flow. But I do worry about players that come from different cultures into the Premier League because they're shocked from actually how fast it is. You look at Šeško as well, United trying to have, when he was clean through against, and what's his face come back to tackle him. Can't remember his name. Goodness me, I don't remember many Tottenham players' names. However, but it's just these players. To be fair. It was. These players need time. However,
it was Van de Ven.
The amount of money is spent, and then people expect a bit more, maybe, and that's not his fault, which is a shame to see.
No, it's been fifth league defeat in 6, Rebecca, right? If my numbers are correct.
Are they out of the title race, Taylor?
Oh, man.
5 defeats, it's rare you win the title.
Listen to me, I've never been one to sit on the fence, and I'm not going to now. I think it is over for them. I do. I don't think Arsenal, City, I just don't think anyone slips up. You almost need them to, slip up 2 or 3 times, if my math's correctly, for them to get even back into the race at this point. So,
and essentially, Liverpool would almost have to not lose again.
Exactly. So you've got to be perfect, and the median's got to come back. I think it is. By the way, how about the exchange with Virgil van Dijk and Wayne Rooney? Was that after the Real Madrid victory?
What about the exchange between Virgil van Dijk and Theo Walcott as well? Great question, by the way. Theo said to Virgil after the game, did you speak to Trent Alexander-Arnold? Are you going to talk to him? And his question was like, your old teammate. He just went,
pretty chill.
He just went, no.
And I was
I know you were fine though. I thought it was a bit, to an ex-pro who's only recently retired. Give us a little bit more, Virgil. Give us a little bit more.
I think he went into that whole interview though wanting to say something to Wayne though, right?
Yeah.
He went in. You tell me if I'm wrong, Theo.
Yeah,
it felt like he just wanted to sit there, hold the mic, and go, ask me about, get me to him.
We actually wanted Conor Bradley. Conor Bradley was going to come on, and Virgil van Dijk said, no, I want to go out and see Wayne. So there you go. So he wanted to.
So tell everybody who's listening who hasn't seen it, Theo, what happened with Wayne and Virgil.
Okay, so long story short, Wayne Rooney, of course, decorated player. However, he basically outlined his leadership's qualities of the performance of himself, of why he's not performing well, basically. And then basically, Virgil van Dijk, I might be paraphrasing there, said that he didn't hear him last year. And then Wayne Rooney come back saying, well, there's nothing to critique you last year because you were that good, basically. So it was just basically handbags. But it was really great. I was stood there watching these two guys. And he is massive. And he makes Wayne Rooney look tiny.
He did.
I kind of like Wayne Rooney for Wayne Rooney doesn't care. And by the way, when you've won everything Wayne Rooney's won, you don't need to care. You can say what you want.
No, but that's also the job. Rebecca, real quick, before you move on, that's the job. So that's, if you're going to say something, which Theo, thank you. I didn't see the question. Great question about Trent Alexander-Arnold, because literally all of us on the outside, we would like to know, are you going to say something? And Wayne is doing his job, a captain, giving insight into leadership. That's what he should do. Now, handbags are going to be handbags, but it is what it is.
Exactly.
One thing, if Virgil's truthful when he says he hadn't spoken to Trent. I think that's sad. But anyway, we're not getting into Trent because we don't need to get into Trent. Just before we move on to Arsenal, real quick, Theo, yes or no, Liverpool for you out of the title race, yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. I'm
There
a
you
no.
go, that was very quick.
I think we have seen this season things change so quickly within a weekend, within 2 weekends, and all of a sudden.
So
things
you
the
think
opposite way
Arsenal's going to
round.
slip up, which is a great segue to our next topic.
I know you're good with the segues today. I just think I'm not saying Liverpool are going to win the title. There's a difference. I think they can still be in the title race. I do, because I just think that there are so many games, and they're bunched up all together over Christmas and New Year, where suddenly Arsenal can have 2 bad games. Suddenly City, we know they can have 2 bad games. Liverpool can go on a little run. Now, so not to say Liverpool will win it, but I just think they might not be out of it right now. We'll see.
Oh, by the way, was it a goal? Goal, yes or no, by the way?
100% it was a goal.
Rebecca.
100% it was a goal, Theo. Virgil van Dijk's header, you mean? Yes. Andy Robertson ducked. Yes, that was the obvious action. Yes, he ducked. That was an obvious action. Yes, he was offside, fine. But he was not directly in the line of sight.
He didn't impact the play, so what am I missing here?
The
Can I play
law
devil's
is you have to
advocate?
be in the line of sight.
Sure,
well, you can, but you'll be wrong, but sure.
I know I will be wrong because I don't really like to give credit to keepers, and I'm definitely a keeper basher normally. So basically, let me just play devil's advocate. If the keeper sees a movement of Robertson, does he feel like he's going to affect the ball?
No, because the movement happened after the keeper started to dive.
Cool, that's sold then. Goal. Done.
I've watched it 10,000 times, and we are.
Goal.
It's a goal.
Not 100. Yeah, it's a goal, which could have changed things, right? We might be having a different conversation this morning. Tom Werner might not be so grumpy. I don't know if it would. Anyway, who knows? We'll never know. Which is frustrating. Virgil didn't want to talk about that afterwards. Arne Slot did, though. He went on about it for quite some time. Theo, Arsenal 2-2 at Sunderland. Let's talk about this in the scope of the title race. Just a couple more minutes on this. Is that a good point for Arsenal, going to Sunderland and getting just the 1 point?
Yeah, do you know, I think it is. Sunderland have been beaten all season at home. They're up there for a reason. They have experienced player in Granit Xhaka who understands what it takes to be able to compete against the top players and to compete at a level. And he's kind of got everyone at his level and beyond. I think it's a really good point. That's a tough place to go and play football in the evening game. So you look at, I was intrigued to see how they play without Gyökeres as well. It's always going to be a kind of a different style. But what was great is Arsenal resilient. They came back in difficult circumstances. Yep. So look, I don't think it's points dropped. I really don't see it that way because they're not going to draw as many as they did last year. So that's the truth for me.
I think at the end of the campaign, the end of the season, we will look back and say it was a good point for Arsenal. Naturally, your inclination is they drop points. I don't think so. I think Sunderland are out-kicking their coverage. They're surprising people right now, and I think the whole season they're going to do so, especially at home. I don't think it's a good point, as much of a good point now for Arsenal until the end of the year when I think we reflect on it, and I think everyone's going to go, you know what, that was a good comeback.
Okay, guys. We could have talked about a number of things on this podcast. We could have talked about Sean Dyche doing good things at Nottingham Forest, of Nuno doing good things at West Ham United, of Newcastle really struggling, being just a couple of points above the bottom 3. We could have talked Tottenham and United. But what we thought we'd talk about today is something very close to Taylor's heart, and that is the concussion situation and the head injury situation in the Premier League. Now, I was watching Bournemouth against Aston Villa at the weekend. Villa, of course, beating them by 4-0. 3 minutes into the game, there's a head collision between Adam Smith and Tyler Adams. By the way, I mean, I don't know quite how that happened, really, because, I mean, both of them had eyes on the ball, but it was one of those situations. I suppose Adam Smith didn't see Tyler Adams. Anyway, the point is they both went down. Adam Smith had blood above his left eye. He was replaced. They were both attended to by both sets of medicals, even from Aston Villa. They had their doctor come on as well because, of course, both of them were down. Tyler Adams continued and completed the match. Today, Tyler Adams is withdrawn from the US men's national team squad as well, which is a key part of this. Taylor, there is not an expert on concussion out there, really, that has anything better to say on this sort of situation than you. Just talk us through your thoughts about the whole situation.
What drives me crazy is that when my injury happened August 30th, 2008, there wasn't enough information out there. We weren't properly educated on traumatic brain injury in sport, which is the proper way to diagnose a concussion, or term a concussion, I should say. We're now asking this November 10th, 2025. So for the Bournemouth manager, after the game, say the medics were, quote, optimistic about his condition, but not 100% certain he fully avoided injury, end quote. What are we missing here? And see, this is what I need people to listen. Listen, I'm not an MD, but I know how to do research, and I also know what second impact syndrome is, and that's fatal. It's not the first concussion that you get. It's the one you get while you have a concussion. That leads to CTE, that leads to players dying. And you can have multiple examples, Google it, of players getting a concussion not properly handled, and it is fatal. What bothers me about this, Theo, and this is the first time you've heard me think about this, is FIFA has had their head in the sand since 2014 World Cup final when Christoph Kramer was diagnosed with a concussion, stayed on the field, and after the game, the FIFA officials said that the German national team doctors made the right decision. There was no traumatic brain injury. Christoph Kramer's quote after the game was, "I had no idea where I was, and more importantly, I thought the score was 2-0. It's a World Cup final." End quote. Why do I use this as examples? Guys, Tyler, you can't convince me that Adam Smith, who was 100% properly handled in getting him out of his own way, getting him off the field. That's why we have concussion subs. And the same player, and Rebecca and I were texting each other, I saw the clip. Theo, anyone with a half a brain, no pun intended, watching this, Tyler Adams was completely out of sorts. Yeah. So get him off the field.
And Taylor, is there a time? Have I misheard this at one point? Is there a thing that happens if you're concussed where you almost argue a bit, like you almost say no, I'm like, is that part of 100%. Almost like a symptom? And yes. Tyler looked disoriented, but also was a little bit like no, I'm fine, like get out of my way kind of thing.
I played Everton against Man City first minute. Raheem Sterling goes and crosses the ball, hits me in the side of the temple. I go down, and it's like. What I remember of it is generally coming out of my body, seeing me go down and come back into my body. That's how quickly it felt for me. It was so weird. I wanted to play on, right? So, because my Mel and the kids were there and it was like first few games and I was excited and got down. I was like, they came on. I was like, I'll play on. And so just give me a second, Theo. They did all the right things. They were great. And I was like, I feel fine. I started to get out and I coughed blood. And I said, I'm not fine. Take me off. Yeah. I knew. Like, I was a bit older and understand, but like, when you're coughing up blood, that's not a good thing to do anyway. But however, just now I look back thinking, players, it happened to Bergvall at Tottenham, didn't it, recently as well? Bergvall, sorry. Yes, you argue. I didn't argue. I just had a discussion thinking I'll be fine to play. It's not. It's serious. Like Taylor says, that's a strong word.
Why are we not taking it? Why did it not happen, Taylor? Why did it not happen on Tyler?
That's a great question for the Bournemouth medical professionals. That's actually a better question for the Premier League medical protocol, because I'd argue this is why. Listen, there's not a more powerful league in the world right now than the Premier League. It's very similar to the National Football League here in the United States. There's no excuses to not have an independent medical professional, right? That has no affiliation with either team. Why? Because that said person, he or she, is going to give you the proper diagnosis and the proper assessment in the moment with no... And by the way, the whole reason why we have concussion subs is to get rid of the managers and the staffs of making any kind of medical decision. Take the pressure out of their hands, take he or she off the field, and bring on a sub.
But they'd already used the concussion sub on Adam Smith, and you're only allowed one concussion sub, which also needs to change.
That's the other point. So you only get one?
And they'd already
so what happens if there's two concussions in a game? Oh, my God.
Exactly. And which medical team, who went to who? Bournemouth?
I think Villa went to Adam Smith, and I think Bournemouth went to Tyler Adams. So anyway, Okay. So it's a real shame. And I mean, do you know, Taylor, real quick, did Tyler pull out because of concussion of USA men's national team?
100%.
So he's played on for 90 minutes with concussion.
He's out of the U.S. men's national team 2 friendlies because of the head injury. That's all I can go by. But anyone that knows how to read between the lines, for anyone listening, just Google second impact syndrome. Yeah. That is what we're trying to avoid here. And apparently we still don't want to believe in the science. It's inexcusable, Rebecca, to end it. It's inexcusable in 2025 to be doing this. We already know the answers.
It's a great discussion. Thank you, Taylor, for your insights, because you have lived it and you know all about it. So we appreciate that. Let's move on and talk a bit about Major League Soccer playoff, because the conference semi-finals are lined up. We've got San Diego, Minnesota, LAFC against Vancouver, Philadelphia Union, NYCFC, and then Inter Miami against Cincinnati. Which storyline over the weekend stood out for you? from all the games that happened to get
I
to
loved
this
the
stage.
San Diego scenes. I loved everything about it. You can make an argument it's the best expansion team in the 30-year history of Major League Soccer. Just the way the stadium was sold out, the way they played against Portland, they dominated the game, everything about it. However, and Theo can add to this, I had no idea. I was prepping and I was doing the third game of Nashville Inter Miami. I had no idea that Lionel Messi had 398 career assists.
Wow. And now he has 400.
He has 400 assists. So Theo,
Incredible.
Rebecca and Theo, think about that. So you're trying to, I'm doing a Messi game. Literally, it's 3 games a month, right? So you're trying to find ways to describe to a global audience about it. And that one stood out to me because I was thinking to myself, how many times we talk about the goals, rightfully so, but he's got 902 goals or 3 goals, whatever the number is, it's fine. It's over 900 goals. He's now got 400 assists, Theo. 400 assists in 21 years professionally. That's absurd.
Theo, how many games did you play for
Yes.
actual football? What are your total appearances? And you had an unbelievable career.
498, I think.
Right. You had an unbelievable career. He has nearly as many assists as you, as an incredible player for England, Arsenal, Southampton, Everton, the list goes on, has as games. And that's not to do you disservice because you had an unbelievable career.
Well, it just shows as well. I bet about those 400 assists, about 300 of them he could have scored himself.
Yes.
Like, maybe more, you know, all 400 maybe. But he's exceptional, isn't he? And I've, like I said, I've been blessed to play against him. So, and you get to see him every week, Taylor. So
it's unbelievable. And I will say this, Theo, you and I have talked a lot about this. Our listeners will appreciate it. Miami was better without Suarez. They were better. They were a little bit younger, a little bit more vertical. Messi had to be a little bit more engaged with his defensive posture, the whole 9 yards. They completely played Nashville off the pitch. They were brilliant. They've now got 2 weeks to prepare for Cincinnati, which is going to be the best game of the next round of the playoffs. That crowd, everything that Cincinnati did with Columbus. Rebecca, it's going to be good.
You need runners around Messi, though, don't you? You need runners, right? You do. Like Harry Kane in Bayern Munich, you got runners around him. He's an exceptional player. However, he's going to look even better when you've got players who want to run.
You got guys that can stretch the field. It's a completely different game. But 400 assists? What?
Wow.
I know, that's mad. Do you think San Diego, Minnesota is San Diego's?
I don't, because Minnesota went to San Diego and beat them 3-1. Minnesota is your prototypical team that will go in, sit in, defend. Their Welsh manager is all about just sitting in and countering. He's got blazing speed in wide areas. San Diego loves the high press. They love to force the issue. Minnesota went to San Diego at the end of the season, beat them 3-1. I think San Diego's that's going to be a difficult one. Obviously, LAFC, Vancouver, Thomas Mueller versus Sun. That's going to be a headliner. But Rebecca, you're on to something. Minnesota could surprise people on that one.
And just very quickly, Philadelphia, NYCFC. Who are you going for on that one?
Philadelphia, because New York City's missing Pereira, broke his leg against Charlotte, so he's going to be out for a good amount of time. And if I'm not mistaken, the other center midfielder, O'Neal, if I'm not mistaken, that's his name, he's suspended due to yellow card accumulation. I would have had New York City as an upset. I think Philadelphia wins that.
I'm excited. This is 2 weeks' time.
One-off games, too, Rebecca. I love it. Now we're off to cup games.
All right, chaps, couple bits of any other business to get to. It's Player of the Week time. And last week we thought it was a bit mean, actually, 30 seconds, a little bit mean, because by the time you formulated your argument, you know, I'm like, beep, 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 like that annoying person. So I'm going to give you 45 seconds each, okay? For anyone who's just listening, the guys pick a Player of the Week, either from the Premier League or from Major League Soccer, or maybe from that snowy game in Canada. Did anyone see that? That was
unbelievable.
Overhead kick? If anyone hasn't seen that, Google snowy game Canada last night and you will see.
I'm sending it to Theo so he can see it.
It was ridiculous. Did you see it?
Yeah,
and the guy scored. Was it David Rodriguez? I mean, what a goal. It's incredible scenes.
Yeah,
okay, so, Theo, I think we're going to start with you this week. Your Player of the Week. Give us an argument.
We might have the same player.
Oh, yeah. Who cares? Well, that'll be interesting, won't it? Because that'll be tough on Taylor. Okay, Player of the Week. Let's go. Theo, go.
Okay, I'm going to go with Jeremy Doku. He scored in the 3-0 win. He, what is else? He's created... Actually, right, a stat, I'm not really good in the stats, however, 10 plus dribbles, 10 plus duels, 3 plus shots, and on target, 3 plus chances created. And the player who did that, Eden Hazard, back in April 2019, not a bad player. Even Pep Guardiola said, singled him out as well and played most outstanding game. So, and given the opportunity, Liverpool, the significant match as well, it was a big game, dominance. He has to be my player of the week. That's all I've got. I can't speak for 45 seconds, I'm afraid.
No, you're okay. You've got 10 seconds to go, and I'll just add in that he recently got married as well, and he's gotten really good since he got married, so I think we have to give his wife...
Wait a minute,
really
we're doing TMZ players of the week now, too?
We're doing TMZ, yeah. You've got to keep up to date on these personal lives, Taylor. They can affect stuff because, happy wife, happy life.
That's
okay.
True. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm. Taylor, who is your player of the week? 3, 2, 1, go.
Old Man River, Lionel Messi. He played Nashville in 22 days. Decision day, 3 playoff games. He scored 8 times in 22 days. In the 3 playoff games, he had 5 goals, 3 assists. Why am I repeating myself with assists and stats and everything else? I don't know what else to say about the greatest of all time. His best friend, Luis Suarez, suspended because he's an idiot. And Lionel Messi looks at the line and says, hold on a minute. My buddy kicked out. Another red card. I'll handle my business. 2 goals, 2 assists in a must-win game at home. Inter Miami win their first playoff series. The 38-year-old then, this is why he's the player of the week for me, he doesn't tell anyone that he's flying back to Barcelona, and he subliminally puts out pictures of being in the new Camp Nou and says, welcome home. I loved every second of it.
Does he?
I'm giving it to Taylor.
Yeah, we ain't ever... Guys, we ain't ever going against Messi. I mean, to be quite honest, Taylor, every week you could come with Messi. Even in the off-season, I'd probably give it to you, to be honest. Jeremy Doku, great shout by you, Theo. Yeah. And I think that's a great argument. And those stats are amazing. I just want to see it more regularly from him. I think this has to be the bar, doesn't it, now? Whereas I don't think you could ever aim that
I think if it is,
Messi.
City might win.
He needs 400 assists, doesn't he?
Yeah, to get
anywhere near.
Yeah, and then he can win Player of the Week on It's Called Soccer. That's the flipping trophy he wants to win. Okay, we're going to very quickly skip over Picks of the Week because I don't think anyone's ever played this game worse than me in my life. So I just want to let you know that the table stands at Theo 59, Taylor 47, still closing, by the way, and I'm back on 24. Now, here's my strategy. I'm changing it. I'm done with me trying to say that Portland are going to beat San Diego when they got hammered 4-0 because I'm going with my heart. In the future, I'm going to go with my head. So just so you know, I'm going to pick the most obvious and most boring scoreline and scorer for the rest of the season to just try and make up some ground. I got 1 point from the Sunderland game. Neither of you guys got any points from that. Theo, you made some points up when you had San Diego beating Portland, as did you, Taylor. And then Theo really made some points with the City beating Liverpool because both Taylor and I had a draw, but we all had Haaland, so at least we all had a
Shocker.
point there. No. Shocker. Okay, final thing, chaps, question of the week. There's 2 questions of the week. Ooh, I'm going to choose one. Okay, Jake in Chicago, best British band of all time, who would you pick? Oasis, Stone Roses, Beatles, Led Zeppelin? Who are you going for? Let's go, Taylor.
Oh, wow. I mean, don't you technically have to say the Beatles?
You do, actually. Yeah, or take
you
that.
technically have to say the Beatles, but they, I mean, I'll say the Beatles because you're an idiot to not say that compared to Oasis, Led Zeppelin. Who else would there be that would be the greatest British band of all?
Coldplay, good.
No, Take That. What about Take That, Thea?
Take That.
Take That.
Yeah, unbelievable. Have you ever heard of them, Taylor?
Yeah, I was. I'm kind of amazed. Like I didn't think of that myself. That's not a bad shout.
Hey, that's a good shout.
You have to say Beatles, though, don't you, Theo?
Who are you going for, Theo?
I'm the idiot. Oh, no. I'm Coldplay. I just like Coldplay. I like Coldplay.
Do you?
I like Coldplay. Do you Take That? I didn't even consider them, actually. That might be a good shout.
But they never cracked America, Take That, did they?
They
didn't.
That's the. Oh, you have to say Beatles. You are right. I mean, it's got to be Beatles, isn't it?
I mean, Led Zeppelin's not a bad shout, by the way.
No, but the Beatles, isn't it?
The Beatles are they changed everything.
I know,
yeah,
they did.
No,
you're right. Okay, we probably got real quick. I just want to ask this other real quick. Did any of you see the Cristiano Ronaldo interview with Piers Morgan?
That fraud! Is he serious?
Who? Cristiano?
Yeah, the World Cup's not a dream. Literally 2-3 before the World Cup, he's talking about it's my dream. It's all I live for. Now that Messi's won it and he can't, now it's not a dream.
Everyone listening is like, what? That's because Claire in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, has asked the question: what did you make of Cristiano Ronaldo on the Piers Morgan episode saying the World Cup is not a dream? I think we know what Taylor says. Why did he say that, Theo? Why did Ronaldo say it's not the dream? Of course, it's the dream.
Yeah, I mean, he's won everything in football. That's the ultimate.
Portugal are good.
That's the ultimate. And they're good. Yeah, he's got good players around him. and he's playing very well. So would that not be the dream? I don't know,
Taylor,
to be honest.
Why do you say it, Taylor?
Yeah, I mean, anything about Ronaldo's about Cristiano's about Cristiano, so I get that, but for me, Roberto Martinez must be like, really, dude, that's what you're saying now? Like, that's what we're doing now? Now we're doing that?
I mean,
right
could
now
you
before
imagine,
World Cup?
like, it would be, could you imagine Argentina-Portugal final? Just for one quick second. I mean, talk about
it'd be a new universe in the galaxy because it would be combust. It would be awesome.
Chaps, this has been absolutely lovely. No. I know, because England are going to win the World Cup. We know that. All right, guys. So lovely to see you. It's definitely coming home because we've never said it before. That's it for this week's episode of It's Called Soccer. We're going to be back next week. We are going to have a guest episode next week because it's international break. So stay tuned. We will let you know on all of our social media channels who that guest is. YouTube, Spotify, podcast, subscribe, like, comment, send us in your questions. You might make it to Question of the Week. Thank you to Jake in Chicago, to Claire in Fort Lauderdale. Our thanks to Theo Walcott, Taylor Twillman. We'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thanks.